Hi everybody, I wanted to talk to you about the planetary energies of March 2022. I've got a full written report in on Patreon, as well as calendar with key dates and interpretations. However, I also want to talk to you a little bit here, just to say that, we're moving through Pisces season and moving towards Aries season. And so the energies right now that we're immersed in are obviously Pisces, as well as Aquarius. We have now moved away from Capricorn. We had a pretty Capricorn heavy month that just ended in February, and we're going into a more Pisces and Aquarius dominating vibe. So the sun moves into Aries on the 20th, and that's when we'll start to see more of an Aries energy coming through. So this month we're dealing with energies of hope, renewal, compassion, and collective care. Ideally, those are the energies that are available to us and that we would want to engage with. However, the realities of our world, geopolitics, and everything else that's going on has us feeling otherwise. I want to offer us a different narrative, one where we can lean into Pisces, the Piscean energy of being in loving service to one another. Pisces reminds us that we're all connected and part of a greater whole. I want us to remember that. Aquarius reminds us to fight for justice, for truth, and for collective progress and collective well-being. And I want us again to remember that. And Aries revives us, awakens us, it boosts our vitality, it helps us have courage and confidence. So the planets offer us moments of tension, and they offer us moments of immense hope and bring easeful energies. There's a mishmash of things happening in March. Definitely there's moments of heightened intuition and spiritual connection. There's moments of immense creative flow and imagination. There's also some reality check moments, and we will see that with the full moon in Virgo on March 18th. So we began the month, today on March 2nd with the new moon in Pisces. And, this was a powerful moon for us to imagine a future where we are healed and whole. And though it did come with some challenging planetary energies, we had Mercury's conjunction with Saturn, which could have had us feeling heavier and brought a rougher edge to our thoughts and our communication. And over the next few days, we're going to see Venus and Mars, which are currently in Capricorn, making a conjunction to Pluto. This can feel a little bit discombobulating. Issues of power and control can come up. Pluto is the planet of sort of intense uprooting and transformation. And so we'll see an intensification of geopolitical events, I believe. But how we choose to flow with these planetary energies in our personal life is really up to us. My advice is to observe the power dynamics in your life if anything comes up, just to observe it without judgment, and more importantly, without taking action. The Venus and Mars conjunction in and of itself is tough. It can be a source of flare-ups. And so when you have both of these planets in conjunction with Pluto and Capricorn, be mindful of not reacting in ways that you may regret. As you know, Saturn is still in Aquarius, and it's going to be there for another year. One more year to go. Woohoo! Mars and Venus both ingress into Aquarius on March 6th, which moves us towards a more liberated, progressive, unique, and even radical ways of taking action in love and in our life. So Aquarius is still a more emotionally detached place for Venus to be, a little bit, maybe even more so than Capricorn. Capricorn wants to make a commitment, so at least that's there. Aquarius wants to just be free and free-flowing and not have limitations. So this, again, depends how you want to work with this energy. Really depends. So for Mars, though, I believe it's a good place for it to be in Aquarius. I don't care what anyone says. I believe that this is where we take action towards the collective greater good. And Mars in Aquarius could be problematic if, there's that sense of dogma Collectively, Mars and Venus in Aquarius could see more uprisings and resistance, and in this case, a little bit different than when they were in Capricorn, where Capricorn is more connected with systems and structure, so perhaps seeing some action taken by governments. In this case, in Aquarius, we may see some resistance, people's resistance, as well as, people being more responsive or reactive, grassroots movements, community, community responses to what's going on, not just globally, but locally. In our personal lives, we want to lean into our own liberation. This is so Aquarius, from the confines of rigid structures in our life and rigid kind of relationships that are stifling. I also just want to add that by the middle of the month, we'll have a big Pisces stellium. We've got the Sun there, we've got Mercury there, we've got Jupiter there, we've got Neptune there. So be mindful of boundaries. Pisces is not always the greatest with boundaries, right? It's about flow, and it's about not judging. It's about not necessarily being discerning. And also it can be a sign where you feel overly empathic, and feeling really, really connected to people and their energy. So you want to practice energy boundaries, physical boundaries, whatever have you. And we may start to feel more confusion here, especially as I mentioned with Jupiter moving towards Neptune in Pisces. There could be a blurring of reality whenever there's too much of a Pisces energy. We could have illusions and delusional thinking. So it's great to lean into our intuition, be imaginative, more spiritually connected, be super compassionate. We lean into really that love for one another. However, also we want to be realistic. We want to pay attention to facts. We want to cultivate boundaries. We don't want to have love for harm. We don't want to be understanding towards harm or injustice. Like, there has to be somewhere where we draw a line. And so this is where that beautiful Pisces and Aquarius balance comes through for us. Pisces ruled by Jupiter, Aquarius ruled by Saturn. We've got expansion, we've got restriction, right? We've got flow versus more discipline. I myself am so excited for spring equinox. It's actually a cultural celebration for me. I'm Iranian, and our calendar aligns with the spring equinox, which is the first day of our calendar year. So I'm excited on more than a few levels for this time of year as well. It's a great time to reawaken and feel brand new in so many ways. Despite everything going on in the world, we can still work on ourselves and to feel as healed and whole as we can, so that we can support one another. So that's it. I'm going to try to do more of these videos with my reports. This is only for you all. It's not for anyone on social media or in my YouTube page or anything. So I'm doing these videos strictly for my Patreon folks. Sending you lots of care during these times, and I will see you on here for the next video, April 1st.